Welcome back. Last time I showed you how I was framing the platform, and I showed you how the facing was going to be applied. So I'm down in my workshop and I've got a piece of the nosing here. It needs sanding and it needs finishing, and I don't know if you can tell there, but some of it is quite red and other bits are a little bit darker, a bit greyer. So I want to try and find something that will blend those a little bit nicer than they look at the moment. Also, the risers are going to be subpili faced, which again is a very slightly different colour. This is far from my speciality, and so it's going to be a case of trying different stains and seeing how I get on. Something I experimented with quite recently on my channel was iron acetate. So I'm just trying a little bit of that on the sapele, and here I've tried some on the Meranti. I'll leave that for a little while and see how that gets on. Also on the back side of the nosing, where we're not going to see it, I can also try on the difference between the dark and the light. I've got two patches right next to each other here. Let's see what effect that has. Now it's turning out to be a nice colour, but it's not helping here to actually match the two together. But I've also got a number of different stains I can be trying as well. Now it's time to just clean up the nosing, removing any pencil marks that were on it, getting it ready for its finish. Having completed the 3 structural boxes, the only finish they receive is some matte black paint to the sides that abut the chancel step and each other. The facing ply was then attached using both clamps, brads and also the temporarily fitted nosing. The brads will remain as a permanent mechanical fixing, being tapped below the surface and filled. Temporary feet will protect the skirted edge whilst it's in the workshop, but I need to make some permanent feet later on. In order to hide the screws attaching the nosing, I'm cutting some plugs out of a spare piece of Meranti. I invested in a new HVLP spray system for this build and built myself a small spray booth at the end of the garage. Contrary to popular belief, I still have to buy most of my new tools like anybody else. Laying parquet flooring in a herringbone fashion is really quite simple, unless of course you decide to have a curved edge and 3 separate sections that all have to line up when they're put together. I had to dig out my old scroll saw, as the idea of tackling it all with a coping saw just didn't fill me with that much joy. A little bit of improvisation helps to keep the blocks pressed down whilst the glue goes off. Ordinarily you shouldn't need to do this, but I did find that a couple of the boards were actually very slightly bowed, so I just thought it'd be sensible to weight it down. Join me again soon as I complete this project. Please take a moment to like, comment and subscribe, and follow me on social media for extra photos and videos from the workshop. Cheerio!